Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Same Beyond and Through with Monty. Today's topic, we're going to talk about reparations in the state of California. And these talks are getting louder and louder. It's as if they are forming coalitions, task force, think tankers, to really try to figure out this particular situation. I want you to have a listen to this.
California Reparations Task Force is making history with a major decision on who will receive compensation. The first of its kind task force was put together by Governor Gavin Newsom back in 2020. Now, after hours of testimony and debate, the group has voted 5-4 that reparations should be paid to descendants of black slaves who were living in the United States during the 19th century. Chairperson of the California Reparations Task Force, Camila Moore, joins me now with a little bit more on all of this. Camila, thank you for being here. I know that California is the only state in the U.S. to move ahead with a study and a plan for reparations like this. So how has this process been to try to figure this all out?
Hi, thank you for having me. We started the California Reparations Task Force meeting in June of last year. And since June, we've held a series of virtual public hearings on a variety of topics, but starting with the transatlantic slave trade, to the institution of slavery, to more contemporary harms against African Americans in California and the United States more broadly around predatory lending practices, environmental racism, racism in banking, tax, and labor, amongst other issues as well. And so we've had an ongoing conversation about who should be eligible for reparations, and we finally resolved that question yesterday afternoon.
So as you can see, the powers that be are really diving into this issue, and they seem to be taking it serious. Well, small steps have to be taken before we can come to any type of big conclusion. And you heard her say we have to decide as to who will get these reparations. But I'm going to break something down to you, because it's not like many of you may think that these reparations here are going to go to all black residents. So let me kind of break some things down for you. By the way, I'm born and raised in the state of California. That's important to what I'm going to bring up later on. But here in the state of California, as of 2023, you have 2 million, around 288,000 black folks are people who identify as blacks living in the state. That is about 4.7% of the California population. But I want to tell you something. All of those black folks are not going to qualify for reparations. See, I believe they're going to throw in twists and turns in getting this particular, whether it be money, whether it be a low interest loan, whether it be student loans, loan for businesses, maybe it could be medical care that you get free. But I believe that a lot of twists are going to be thrown in there to the point where it's only about 30% of black Californians will actually be eligible to collect these reparations when they're given out. I'm going to tell you why. And it's going to be something that kind of came to me, a little revelation, that I don't think that people are really thinking of the bigger picture in the state of California. So let's dive into it. And intuitively, I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay, I believe that whatever it is, let's just go with money. Let's go with monetary gains, which have been in the form of like checks which are given out. If such checks are given out, they have thrown around numbers like $200,000. Yeah, $200,000. See, many black folks think that it's going to be a one-time check that's going to be written out. And I heard a black poster, a female, say that, give me my money so I can leave the state of California. Well, baby girl, it's not going to be that easy. I don't think that's the way that they're going to do that. See, I believe that in order to qualify for these reparation checks in California, that you're going to have to be born here, that you're going to have to reside here in the state of California, and you're going to have to die here. See that right there? So I believe that anyone who's planning on coming from out of state, thinking that somehow they're going to cash in on reparations which California is giving out, they're going to be sorely mistaken. Moving to Cali to get my reparations, somebody said me too, it's not going to work that way. And even if they do allow transplants here, I believe that it's going to be a stipulation that you must have been here for at least a 10-year period. And with that, again, you have to reside here and you must die here. Anything such as moving out of the state, that will be voided. The reparations will be voided. See, I believe that what they're going to do, when they finally do it, either it's going to be a monthly check or either a yearly check. And let's say if it is $200,000, in order to continue to receiving that, obviously you're going to have to reside in the state of California. And that benefits California too, because once you reside here, guess what? You're going to be spending money in the state of California. So it's kind of like they're giving you money, but you're going to be investing money back into the state of California. That's how I believe that this is going to go down. And someone wrote down here, my mother was born in LA, so I should be looking into this. And actually, it's very simple. Every African American born here should qualify. Yeah, she's correct about that. Everyone who's born in the state of California should qualify. Exactly correct about that. But she said her mother was, but yeah, I wonder was she. I guess she was also. And everyone born in the state of California will probably qualify. But let me just tell you something too, though. Another stipulation which I believe that they're going to put on this. I believe that a felony, like a person who's murked someone, you know what I mean by murked, or someone who did the R word or SA word, I don't think they're going to qualify. I believe that it's going to be for citizens who have an upstanding record. Because reparations mean to just like repair. We're going to repair something. And why would you award someone who has torn someone's life upside down, who has caused a lot of chaos into the lives of other people? So I don't think that they're going to be qualifying. Or maybe they're going to have at least a clean record for like a 10-year period. And speaking of records and qualifying and crimes, I believe that if reparations are given out, if you were to commit a felony, that's going to be wiped out. The reparations checks are going to stop right there. They probably will stop until once the sentence is complete. And if it is like you must be clean for a 10-year period, we could be looking at a long, long time before those checks are resumed. So I think that people are not thinking. If they're sitting up there thinking that for the state of California, they're just going to cut a check for every single person, I don't believe that at all. And if I'm wrong, let me know. Seriously, throw it in my face. In fact, I'll probably make another video saying that, well, this is how they're going to do it. But yeah, I just think that there's going to be stipulations into this reparations payment if they do decide to give it out, or once they decide to give it out. I'll think positive. Once they decide to give it out, there's going to be some stipulations to this. Nothing's just going to be cut and dry. That it's going to be easy for people to just move here, or anyone can just qualify. It's not going to be for black immigrants, obviously. It's pretty much going to be for black California residents. So those who are moving out of the state and planning on returning back to the state, you might have some difficulty. See, with that right there, you can clearly see that if these stipulations are attached to these reparations payments, whatever they may be, out of these 2,200,000 California residents, I'm going to say that really only about 30 to 40% of the people may even be eligible out of that. Because I just think that you have a large number of people who are transplants here. And there are many people who have moved, maybe a few who have come back. Because not too many people are really coming back to California. And you're going to have situations too where people just may not have a clean enough record. All of this stuff is going to be taken into considerations when they're giving out these payments here. So I think that people need to get out of their mind that somehow it's going to be a one-time check and they could just get up and leave. Not going to work that way. And right here it says, Black and white Americans are far apart in their views of reparations and slavery. See, drop the slavery, people. It's not just for slavery. It's not for slavery. It's for redlining. It's for systematic abuse and discrimination. It's for the war on drugs. I mean, oh my God, there are so many things that have happened since slavery that we can name. It goes way beyond slavery. So let's not get that argument, that very simplistic argument that this is just about slavery. Slavery is just one aspect of it. Blacks have suffered innumerable abuses by the government since slavery was over. We could talk about Jim Crow. We can talk about, as she mentioned, predatory lending practices, job opportunities that are denied based upon race. There are a lot of other things that we can go into. We could talk about here in Los Angeles, when the 91 freeway was built, a whole community of black homes that have been there since the 1940s. They were uprooted. They gave them a small payment, but they had to uproot these people to make way for the 91 freeway and relocate them elsewhere. So no, it's not just about slavery. And don't let anyone trick you into believing that. There's a lot of other things that are pretty much involved in this. So I wanted to kind of break this down to you and give you my 2 cents as to what I think is going to be the ultimate factors to these payments or whatever it's going to be given out. Believe me, whether you like it or not, there will be stipulations involved in this. Again, there's not just going to be a check that's going to be cut where you can take the money and run. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to run out of here. That was another edition of Sin Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.